talk about the play of your front four.
Well, those guys have been very, very solid inside. And all four of those guys, we really for 2 games on the interior, have been very good in grading out and where they need to be and getting penetration, getting push, getting pressure. And the same thing on the perimeter. I thought, Jeremy had a huge game the other night. Austin English continues to be outstanding. And some young guys, need to keep coming on, but they are. Alan Davis, and, we need to get Frank Alexander back, and we're working more and more in practice and getting close to putting R.J. Washington in there as well, just because he's showing the ability and more consistency that we need, and so that's exciting too.
Well, what makes Jeremy a good candidate for that? I know he used to be a linebacker.
It's a good. He's similar to Austin English in that those guys could play linebacker in a heartbeat. They're instinctive. You don't have to tell them a whole lot. They see stuff on their own, and they have that size that they're either like a half linebacker, half D end, and that's really good on the perimeter anymore. As athletic or as much as the people with the zones and zone reads and all that people are doing out on the perimeter, they really. I think it's really to their advantage how the athletes that they are, the way they move, change direction, and run.
Being able to move around before the snap, give them some.
Well, that's just part of our the one scheme that we use, which does hopefully when we're doing that gives them a chance maybe to make more plays.
Is Trent Williams grading the highest of the offensive lineman through 2 games?
Probably. Mm-hmm. But, last year he was a guy that kind of went under the radar that was very similar a year ago. He was always one of the guys that had one of the better grades.
Austin Box, a lot of us didn't think he got as many reps as maybe we expected. Is he healthy, ready to go? Will he get more?
He had a whole week of practice last week, and I think we just, you get in the game and Travis was doing so well. Why change it? And the fact that he had only had 4 practices, coming off of about 3 weeks of being off. So we didn't want to push it, but he's definitely healthy and ready to go, and so we'll see how much he keeps getting.
What's your thoughts about your secondary play?
Was good. I thought it was really good overall. I thought the corners really played well. And the safeties, the screens of play that really is a team hustle play. It isn't on the secondary backers and linemen up front recognizing it. That's the one play that creased us. But other than that, those guys were where they needed to be and challenged and broke up balls and played well.
Are you in a position at all to say that this offense could be your best? I think
no.
We'll go back. Okay.
It's just way too soon. Way too soon. There's potential there, but that doesn't mean anything till you've done it. So.
Bob, as you prepare to return to Pac-10 country, has there been any nightmares, flashbacks to that debacle in Oregon?
No, that's that's 2 years ago, and and the way it all worked out, that season started off in a rotten way, having to dismiss your quarterback the day you start camp. That whole thing happens. You lose your best player, Adrian Peterson, for more than half the year, and you look up at the end of the year and you're playing a great rival in Nebraska and win the Big 12 championship. So that's how I look at it. It's past, and we overcame it that year in a good way, and we're on. And like I said, we have a contract with Washington. They were good enough to come here and play. We're going to go up there and play.
Will it be a Pac-10 officiating crew Saturday?
Yes.
Do you hesitate to play future Pac-10 games?
No.
It doesn't stick in your craw at all at an Oregon game.
If it does or not, I'm not going to talk about it. That's too long ago.
Have you ever been to Husky Stadium?
Yes. Played them. I was at Kansas State, and we played them the year they won the national championship. They had Steve Entman, and they had this big free safety that killed everybody. I can't remember his name, and yeah, they smashed us. Beautiful venue, and prideful program, and a great area of the country. I thought it was really impressive.
You still get a charge going to new places like that?
Absolutely, it's always exciting. I love stadiums, all of them. You all have different, surroundings and excitement to them, and it is exciting, to see different places.
Bob, were you in the press box at that game, or were you on the field?
I was in the press box, busting
Different
windows.
view, isn't it, hanging up there underneath that awning?
Oh yeah.
Wow, boy.
Yeah, beautiful place.
The boats coming in.
Mm-hmm. No, it is. It's really the only one I saw similar. Tennessee has boats that kind of pull up to theirs, but it was really a pretty picture outside of the game. So,
Can you expand a little bit on Trent Williams, because he's not the guy you think of necessarily when you think of prospects for the next level, and what does he do or have that just allows him to be the player he is?
Well, he has size, strength, all of that, but it's his feet. He's one of those unusual guys with his size. I mean, Trent truly could be a defensive lineman, and that doesn't happen a lot where you see guys and you look at them, and believe me, if some other places where we struggled to get D linemen, if we were at one of those places, we'd be moving them over to D line. And he has those kind of feet. He's just really athletic, really agile, and to go along with his size.
Does he typically, would it be right to say, frustrate the guy on the other side? I mean,
he consistently plays well is what he does. So I don't, there are times that people get the better of him, but I mean, he grades out for us really well usually.
Bob, why is it we've heard so much? He's been brought up a whole lot, but we hear so much about Duke Robinson and Load Hope before his name's ever mentioned.
That's because you guys talk about guys. I don't, you ask me, and listen, Duke has played well, and all those guys. Duke was recognized along with Phil, Cooper. Those guys all were recognized as having really good games. He just happened to grade out the best. So I don't gauge. I don't, and I'm not. Duke has had a lot of excellent games. So, I'm not just singling him out. But you guys choose to talk about certain guys, not me. And all I can do is when we have a player of the game, I bring it up.
But you guys nominate people for honors, I would think. Duke was.
But we nominate several guys for honors. Now, who they pick is up to them. I mean, we nominate. There'll be a good number of guys that we put out there that, hey, it's up to you to choose. I'm not going to choose. So that isn't for me to do.
Coach Chris Brown just picks you up whenever he comes in the ballgame.
Those two together are the best in that how they complement each other. Chris is very different style, but very subtle and so effective. And you watch, when I go back on our TV shows every week, you see some of the cuts he makes and how easy he makes people miss them. And great hands, very reliable. And it's fun to see. I laughed, chuckled yesterday. The two of them are walking off the field together. They're, side by side. They're best of buddies, and they know too. It's like early in the season here. We're not giving them. We're paying attention how many runs they're getting because it's a 14-game, schedule for us. Hopefully, that's what you're after, and that there's no sense in wearing them out early. Let's keep bringing them into it, and they're excited about it. Hey, coach, we're good. They're good teammates, and they're they're humble guys, and they know for the long haul they're in good shape. Both are coming off knee injuries that at this point they feel great, and that's also good just early in the season without overdoing it with any one of them. All right, thanks.